Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Win with Will. This is my channel where we follow my dividend portfolio journey. This is going to be week 21 of my results, which would have been from 11:10 to 11:14. I actually did my screenshots as of Friday or Saturday, but I'm just getting to actually getting this recording out on Monday. So a lot of things have probably already changed and been up and down with some of the funds from then to now. But this is going to be my results from last week, which was week 21. So let's jump right into the information. So, who am I and why am I here? So, if you're somebody that's new to the channel, basically, I started this channel to document my progress, to be able to show people out here in YouTube land that someone can start with a small account and work their way up. Most of the time we see YouTube videos of people talking about their portfolios and their investing strategies. They already have these big, huge accounts, which are 6 figures, 7 figures, and things like that. And the average person can just never see themselves getting started on the journey of investing. So I really started this channel to really document my progress and show people that you can start and work your way up to where you want to be eventually. Also, to show my friends and family how simple it is to start investing. You don't have to have all of the answers. You don't have to be a guru or a specialist, and you don't have to pay someone money to invest your money for you. You can start learning on your own and start taking small, simple steps to eventually get to where you want to be with your investing journey as well. Also, to teach my kids financial education and help other parents teach their children as well. You may not know where to start those conversations with your kids, but you can use my channel as a launching point. And last but not least, to inspire others. If I can do it, you can do it. As I said, I'm not some type of a financial guru or anything special. I always tell everyone I'm just a regular, everyday guy from the south side of Chicago that's just looking to take control of my finances, and you can do the same as well. So, let's get these legals out of the way because, like this guy, we are prepared to go to court. But just kidding. I'm not a financial advisor. Again, the content shared here is for entertainment and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Please do your due diligence because investing involves risk, including the potential loss of capital, as you will see by watching me. Some of these funds have really taken some huge dips over time. But again, that's why my channel is here, so that you can watch and see the things that are working for me, the things that are maybe not working so well, so that you can make better decisions for yourself. I'm simply documenting my personal journey and experiences with investing. Now, let's talk about my portfolio goals. The short-term goal of my portfolio is to generate about $1,000 a month in dividend income and have about a good $10,000 invested into the portfolio. The midterm goal is $5,000 a month in dividend income, which for a lot of people would be considered enough to replace a full-time job. It's about $60,000 a year, and I have $50,000 invested into my portfolio. And long-term goal is to have a $100,000 a year dividend income that's recurring year after year. So, I know why we're here. We want to see the money and see how these things are going for me right now. So let's get right into the portfolio. So again, this is week 21. And as you can see, when I first started the account, I started with about $5,000 out of pocket. Over time, I've added more and more to the account to a total of about a little over $8,000 out of pocket. I haven't been adding more in the last few months, just been more so just compounding the earnings, in which case it's been kind of keeping my weeklies kind of flat. This week, my earnings took a little bit of a dip, down from the average, which was roughly about $190 or so, to only $166, as these funds have been dropping and losing value over time. So has the dividend payouts. But this was actually the first week that I actually did not reinvest the earnings earned from last week. I let it sit to the side because I'm thinking about some additional strategies of Let's see how the funds can accumulate, and then maybe drop a lump sum into this fund or that fund as we go. So actually, this was the first time I did not fully reinvest the earnings from last week. So as a result, the earnings from this week did go down. Took a nice little significant dip from last week without the compounding effect. So we'll take a look more at the actual funds on the next page. But as of right now, my total accumulated dividend earnings is $3,582.29, which is about 44% based off of the amount that I put into the account. But let's take a look at the actual funds. So first three funds here are all Granite Shares Weekly Payers, which is a company that generates these various funds that we can invest in for earnings for the investors. TSYY, this fund follows Tesla shares, designed to kind of go up and down and generate your profits and returns as Tesla has its ups and downs in the actual stock market. This one, XBTY, follows Bitcoin, same thing as Bitcoin has its ups and downs. This fund is supposed to follow suit and give you pluses and minuses. NVYY, this fund follows Nvidia stock, and as the Nvidia stock goes up and down, same thing as the other two. But as we can see right now, my biggest holdings is the TSYY. I have 530 shares of TSYY fund, and right now the average price as of the time that I recorded or took my shots of my progress, the price of the fund was about $6.13, and about $3,248.90 is my total amount of my fund for TSYY. The last payout for this fund was 18 cents per share, which got me a grand total of $95.40 based off of the payout for this week. XBTY, I've got 20 shares. Average price today is $12.99. Again, I keep saying today, but as of Friday when I snap these figures, and payout for XBTY was 27 cents per share, which got me $5.40 this week. 49 shares of NVYY, $21.96 is the current price of the fund. Paid out 43 cents per share, in which case I made $21.07. ULTY, these are my Yield Max funds, which is a different company. Big news coming out about ULTY, which is that this fund is actually going to do a reverse share split or stock split. So basically, what that means, and I think ULTY is going to do a 1-to-10. I know they were saying some of their funds are going to do a 1-to-5 reverse split. Some are going to do a 1-to-10. Basically meaning divide how many shares you got by either 5 or 10, and it will equal the same amount of value. So technically it means they're going to kind of force the average price of the fund to go up, but you're going to have less shares than you have after they do the reverse split. For my strategy, which is generating dividend income, my income with this fund has a big factor into how much I'm getting paid out for the fund is how many shares I've got. So currently I've got 493 shares. Is down to paying 6 cents per share, which has got me $29.58 last week off of ULTY. But if they were to cut this number down by 5, so let's say if this was 500, it drops me down to 100 shares, or even worse, if they cut it down by 10, it's cutting me down to about 50 shares. And just depending on how this payout is going to move with that move, it could drop my earnings way, way down. So I'm actually going to be moving off of ULTY and selling my shares and dumping these funds into something else, just because I don't want to ride the wave of losing my amount of shares and all of that, and just banking on hopefully that the payout amount goes up higher, the share price is higher, and things like that. Because the way these have been moving, for me, I feel as though, let's say the price jumped up, by 10. But I mean, if they're moving it down by 10, they have to drop the price up by 10 to give you the same amount. But in my opinion, who's to say it's not going to just completely start dropping back down right after they make those changes, right? So for me, it's at this point, it's not really worth the risk. I've been holding on due to the weekly payouts, but I'm not going to continue to hold on. I'm going to go ahead and let the OT go. Misty, which follows the MSTR stock, 50 shares. Average price this week was about $8, and they paid out 16 cents per share, in which case it paid me out actually $8. And then SMCY, which follows SMCI, which is a tech company. Think about your computer processors and things like that. We've got 33 shares. Average price about $10.31, and they were paying out 22 cents per share, which gave me $7.26. So this is how I got to my grand total this week for $166.71. But as we talked about, with these funds really taking some huge declines over time, the average overall price of the portfolio is way down based off the amount that was purchased for all of the various funds. So if you factor in all of the initial purchases plus all of the reinvesting to get more and more shares out of the earnings each week, the total value that has been put into the portfolio is a little over $11,000, $11,392.74. But as of today, or as of the time of my grabbing the amounts, the value of the portfolio was way down to $7,400.50. And this has been gradually going down and having a loss on the actual portfolio value. But up until now, this is actually the very first week since I've been doing this back in June that the actual fund overall price, which is down by $3,992, is actually got me losing, because now the actual dividend payouts are not exceeding the loss of the portfolio. So if you look at the total portfolio loss, almost $4,000, $3,900. And if we go back to the total accumulated dividend earnings, it's only almost $3,600. So as of today, or as of this week 21, this is the first time that the actual value of the fund is not is above, the losses in the fund is actually above the earnings with the dividends. So is this a trend? Is this something that could reverse itself? Can these funds all bounce back? Absolutely. But who knows exactly what's going to ever happen in the markets? Nobody could really predict one way or the other if a fund is going to rebound and go back up, if the fund is going to continue to drop and decline. Got a lot of stocks and funds throughout the entire markets have been on the downtrend. Even if you kind of, some of us take a look at our 401ks and, the numbers are not, the best as when the economy was booming and the markets were all booming and things like that. So you can take it with a grain of salt. Are these funds, kind of mirroring what's happening in the overall markets and trending downward? Or are these accelerating the downward trend due to the fact that they're trying to pay out these high amounts of dividend earnings? And so this has been a big argument for people as far as debate on whether these high yield funds are really a good investing strategy, or whether it's better to just go for stocks that are going to grow over time, not worry so much about the dividends. But again, my strategy from starting this channel and starting my portfolio with this portfolio was strictly to see how well and how much I can build up and accumulate the monthly recurring. So this is also a part of the reason why as of right now, I haven't done a reinvest for the first time, because I want to, just give it a little room to breathe and see how my funds can accumulate with the constant fluctuations in the actual fund price. So this video is getting a little bit long, so I'm going to end it right here. But if you guys enjoy and like this type of content, please, 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 please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate every single person that takes time out of your day to follow along and see how things are progressing. The ups, the downs, hey, the path to success is never a straight line. There's always going to be your hurdles, your obstacles, your left turns, your right turns. So please, please, please understand, even though this is the first time that the portfolio is actually having a decline in the overall, when you combine the earnings as well as the NAV of the funds, I am not discouraged. It's just about plan, do, review. You plan, you get started, you get to working on your strategy, and then you review how things are working, and you maybe pivot, you maybe make some moves, you maybe make some adjustments along the way. But the only way to lose is to quit and give up, guys. So please, please, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I reply back to every single person that comments on the channel. I really, really appreciate everybody's feedback and encouragement as we go. And again, we're all in this same boat for those that are also on their investing journeys. And so it's a great platform to be able to encourage each other as we go. But I love to leave you guys with a positive quote. If you look at this chart here, success, see your goal, understand the obstacles, create a positive mental picture, clear your mind of self-doubt, embrace the challenge, which is tough for a lot of us to embrace the challenges, but stay on track and show the world you can do it. That is why I have my channel, to show you guys, to motivate others, to show people that, hey, you can start where you are. You can have your ups and downs, but just keep on going. Keep on going. Keep being positive and knowing that as you move and as you adjust and as you learn, you win or you learn. You don't win or lose. You learn from the things that are not working for you. And now you can find out ways to avoid those things in the future, guys. So show the world that you can do it. It's not about bragging. It's not about trying to show off and show up anybody else. It's more so about trying to encourage others and show them, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys on that note. I really appreciate every single person that stuck with us to the end. And you guys have an excellent, excellent rest of your day. Goodbye, guys.